This is the view. Oh no, I was going to sing a song to start this one, and I've forgotten what it was. What was the song? Oh, he can pass. He can score. He's gonna get us one more. Oh, Nicholas Gay. Watch him play, scoring every day. Right. This is a review from the Rage official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today's Tuesday, the 11th of November. 2025. My name is Patrick Smith. The guy who's absolutely mortified by that over there is David McGimsey. And down below us, join us once again. And one of the voices on Belfast Giants TV is Stevie Boucher. Over the next hour, so I've got no notes. The last hour of me trying to sort out the podcast has been hectic as hell. So over the next hour, you're going to get something in regards to the Belfast Giants. We're going to look back at the games that took place over the weekend against the Dundee Stars and the Cardiff Devils. We have Jordan Kawaguchi joining us shortly, and hopefully we will also have Dallas Erhardt of the Manchester Storm. If you're watching live, drop us a note or subscribe to us on YouTube and all the good podcast providers. Gentlemen, you well?
Aye.
Big thanks to Stevie. He's a big nod to Stevie.
Yeah, doing all right.
Also, there's our platform have done all sorts of changes to the way of doing it. If you're watching in vertical and you can't see our face, change it. Go back to the other way because I don't know. I'll fix that for next week.
If I go down here,
you probably be able to see if you drop right down. I don't understand the actual system that's going on. I think this sort of lines up how this podcast is going to go this week. Big thanks, Davey, for running the show last week. I really do appreciate it. There's something I love tuning into the View from the Bridge when I'm not on it. It actually makes it a hell of a lot better. And I do. You did a really good job, and really good to have David Goodwin on. And thoroughly enjoyed it. So thanks for doing that. We're going to start, and one of the favorite things I like to do when we start in these sort of shows, and be joined by a very good friend of ours, one of our favorite people in the world, Laura Small. How are you?
Hi, gents. Patrick, I love that song.
What do you think? What do you think?
So
Say,
good.
Davey, shake of the head from Davey. It was an absolute no. What do you think, Davey?
Not a team player,
sure.
Davey.
As long as you don't ask me to follow, go for it.
It's an absolute yes when we were in our 20s on the bridge in the 2000s. But mate,
Mate,
we're not.
I'm
So
going
you
to try
mean-
to mobilize everyone.
Mean Paddy's in his early 30s, you know.
Go try to mobilize every week. Laura, as you're joining us because as always, the Belfast Giants have something wonderful in store. What is it?
So Saturday is our first official charity partner of the season, well, of the year game. So it's going to be for Air Ambulance Northern Ireland. So actually today we went as a team to visit the Air Ambulance, and kind of was like, oh, well, I know what they do. It's kind of in the name, but oh my rippers. It was unreal. So I feel like everybody was kind of taken aback. So they can put you in a coma. They can do amputations. That blows my mind. The actual helicopter wasn't that
in
big.
a helicopter?
Either in the helicopter or at the trauma site. So there's three people. There's a surgeon, a paramedic, and a pilot. Starts obviously pilots flying, paramedic becomes sort of co-pilot navigating, surgeon's ready to go, then it lands, and then surgeon and paramedic turns back to paramedic. It was absolutely nuts to hear the kind of things that they can do. We have more footage from today coming, so I'll not ruin it with the people that work their stories, because obviously it's far better for them to tell their story than me to half-ass it. But it costs actually about £3 million a year to run the Air Ambulance, and that is funded by the public, funded by fundraising, basically. So that's roughly works out about £8,200 a day. That's a lot of money to be raising.
That's a lot.
So that looks after kind of just the aviation side of it. So fuel, the training on the airbase. What else? Let me think. Just different aviation related things, rather than it's not paying for the surgeon or the paramedic. Those are covered, I think, by the old government, the NHS.
Yeah.
So they talked a little bit about the things that they mainly attend to. So obviously road traffic collisions, farm accidents, a lot of cardiac arrests, obviously where time is super duper important. They can get anywhere in Northern Ireland in 25 minutes.
20? Wow.
25
That's
minutes.
remarkable.
I think it's
just how
What did you say? Sorry, I missed that.
It goes to show how important it is.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. They are from the call, they are airborne in less than 5 minutes. Like they are like 3 people. That I just actually blows my mind. That's so much pressure, and they're obviously like the calmest people on earth. I don't know. It was really humbling today. But it's also great to see like what our money that we raise will help with. So to the game, different ways that you can give us your money. So shirt off the backs, that's obviously how the majority of the money is raised. So we'll be having full team shirt off the back in our super snazzy replica air ambulance uniforms. They came in today and I actually think they look fantastic. And the air ambulance love them, so that's great. Then we'll have some replica stock of those for sale at the merchandise counters. Don't have a whole lot. And everybody who ordered their jersey will be here for the game. Then we're going to have, I love them. I think they're so clever. Somebody wanted to take off the walkie-talkie. It's not actually on, it's just a print of it. But when I saw it today, it absolutely tickled me. It was like my Nokia 2110 from back in the day. Or maybe it wasn't. Yeah. And I was like, I actually said I had that phone in 1997. And Ryan Smith goes, I was born in 1997. I was like, well, I was 17.
Yes.
So that was another humbling moment for me. Where was it? So retail jerseys. Then we're going to have pucks. We'll probably be selling the pucks from door 1. They're going to have, the air ambulance are going to have an information desk on the bridge. And they've made some really lovely colouring sheets for children featuring Finn and then their mascot, Helimed Ted. I mean,
Helimed Ted.
Devastated he's not called Chopper, but they're a way to tell people what to call things. Lover just couldn't understand this. So they'll have those in the bridge. They'll also have some people chatting about their work. And then they also offer like a junior kids program. So they'll have ways to sign up to that. And just there are people talking about the work they do again. Then we'll have a photo opportunity at door 1, along with the mascot. They'll have a nice backdrop. And let me see. Oh, obviously we'll be collecting. Did I annoy everybody?
Davey.
Sorry.
Davey, you watch yourself. Then we'll be doing bucket collections, which I know is kind of difficult because we're saying we're a cashless venue. But if you've got any glass jars with your 2p's and everything, just bring them in. And QR codes around the building. So lots of different ways to donate some money and take part in a fun night. Hopefully everything will go well.
And it always does. And like I always say that the generosity of the Belfast Giants fans and people who attend knows no bounds, especially you get this as well with the Storm fans and all that stuff going as well. And I believe you've got a bit of an exclusive for us.
Well played. Yes, so we've teamed up with our friends at Keith Drury again. So we're going to be doing a charity Christmas card. It'll be split between Little Heroes and Air Ambulance, and all being well, it will be for sale on Friday. We will be selling it at the game, probably around door 1 as well. They'll go online and then they'll be available from the charities themselves potentially as well. So price about £5. And again, all the money will be going to the charities directly. So that's another way to take your money for the charity.
That's it. Well, do you know what? No better way to do it. And it's all the Keith Drury stuff, always fantastic. You see the stuff that happened in the summer and the picture that was done there was just wonderful.
They're unreal. He is the most fascinating person. We just randomly had a really random conversation with them, and then ended up down the picture and the jerseys and everything. That just came about. But why does my look really weird when it was attached to me? A really weird I just had a really random conversation that led to everything, and he is a fascinating person. And there's Gary who runs the studio and the gallery, and then Keith and Deborah, his wife, and they are just phenomenal people, and they are all on board with any of the weird stuff, the crazy stuff that we come up with, and just they're also really interested in helping charities as well. So it works well with us. So we're looking forward to it.
Superb. Listen, Laura, we always appreciate you coming on. Was there something else? Go on.
Just
One
2
more thing.
seconds.
Two.
Will come
You go
on
for
near
it. You go
December.
for it. I didn't know that.
No, I
thought you
literally
were
mean
done
2
with this.
seconds.
Right.
We'll come back to this later in December, but obviously in December we'll have some other things coming up. Our usual sort of Teddy Toss, children's Cash for Kids with Kill FM, Organ Donation Discussion Day. So we've got lots of stuff coming up.
Fantastic.
That's all. Literally 2 seconds.
Fantastic. Laura, always a delight to see you.
Yes,
Thank you so
been a
much for joining
pleasure.
us. Good luck this weekend. And yeah, we'll catch up with you.
Let's make some money.
Let's do
Bye,
it.
bye, gents.
Bye.
Bye.
Big thanks to Laura. Again, wonderful stuff with regards to the air ambulance and everything that happens there. You know, I know that it's a cause close to so many people's hearts. I look at like even a good friend, one of my best mates, his cousin died in a traffic accident, but he was in a motorbike accident, and he was a big advocate for the air ambulance and the money that was raised there. And it potentially would have saved his life had there been one available. So, and I live over in Manchester, as many know, and sometimes it's terrible seeing the air ambulances landing on the M60 or the M56, because you know that somebody is in dire need of some serious urgent attention. But because that these air ambulances can come and land and be part of helping people, it gives people a fighting chance to maybe survive. So get your hand in your pocket, and I know that everybody does and helps out with all of that. So yeah, good luck to that with regards to the Belfast Giants and the drive for their ambulance. Go on, David, you want to say something?
I don't know whether we're talking about the same guy, Paddy, and Dr. John Hind.
We are. He was cousin of one of the best mates.
Cousin of one of your best mates. I was actually at his funeral. It's 10 years ago, unbelievably.
It is 10 years ago.
And I remember doing a little bit of fundraising. Sold my jam that summer for the air ambulance fund because John was collecting for that. I think he's buried in Portaferry.
He is.
From memory, yeah. So
yes,
we all met up in Newton Ards, a whole load of bikers, and we met up in Newton Ards and rode down the Strangford, down the peninsula to his funeral, and then had a bit of a rake on the way back up, in his memory. But yeah, and then I have a good friend here who actually is a mechanic on them as well, on our ambulances as well. So there's a few connections there, but a very, very good cause. Let's try and raise some serious money for them tonight. It would be good. Dr. John Hind, the flying doctor, as they called him back in the day. It would be great. And I know it's probably not in John's memory anymore, but he's still in our memory, Paddy. And when every time I see an air ambulance, it's something that reminds me of John. So, his name lives on, eh?
100%. It's great that the Belfast Giants are getting involved in this. I saw some of the videos, some of the stuff from during the week of the lads going down and having a look at what happens there, and more part to it. We're going to actually start today with our first guest. Start today. We had the most important guest on. My apologies, Laura. We had the most important guest on, and now we move on to a man who we'll talk about a little bit more when we talk about the game against Dundee. But let's catch up with him right now. Hat-trick hero from Sunday. It's Jordan Kawaguchi. How are you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Not too bad. Doing well, thank you. 3 goals on the other night, pushing the Giants into the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup. How happy are you with that?
Yeah. Obviously, it's nice to get 3, but at the same time, it's a lot better to move on in the tournament into that semi-finals.
It's obviously one of those competitions. You've had successful experience of it before, but going through those sort of games, Dundee, Fife, Glasgow, Dundee, bit of a slog to get through it. So to get through the semi-final is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we play the same team over and over again. Tempers usually start to boil over with different teams, and it was nice to get away from the Scottish teams last week, but obviously we had Sunday night circled a little bit just because we knew that was a must win for ourselves. So
it's been a bit of an interesting start to the season. It's hard to believe, Jordan, we've just passed Halloween and we're sort of 25 games into what seems already quite a long season. Is it take the Champions League out of it? There's some really, really nice trips and stuff and good bonding sessions, but it's been hard so far.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. Yeah, I mean, you said it. Champions League was some good bonding trips. I think it took a toll on our confidence. You're playing some unbelievable teams and some really high talented players. So it was a bit of a tough start to the year, I think, for us, but we're starting to, kind of find that our stride again and get our confidence back. And um, yeah, it's definitely been an up and down start to the year. But we've also, kind of seen our worst games, I think, already, and some of our best games. So now we know what we have to do, what we can't do at the same time, and hopefully, moving forward here, we can stay on the path of consistency.
And Adam and the coaches would often talk about you want the team to face some adversity over the course of the season. It's all part of the story about hopefully winning a championship, and you don't always want that adversity to come so early, but we have faced a lot of injury problems so far, and we're starting to get a little bit healthy.
Yeah, injuries are a big part of it, especially in this league. You only have a certain amount of guys that you can play with. You only have a certain amount of guys on your roster, and it's not like in North America where you have injuries, you sign guys, and they go up and down and things like that. So injuries are obviously part of this league, and whether it's it can make or break your team, but at the same time, we know that it's there, and we just kind of have to push through it. It can be tough to play teams with three lines and 5D, but at the end of the day, we all want to win a championship, and that's the goal. So it's part of what we have to do, and it sucks. And like you said, we're starting to get some guys back, which is nice.
Jordan, you've had success, I think, pretty much everywhere you've played, including obviously in Belfast in your first year last year. Is there characteristics you can see, like in the locker room, in the team, sometimes that just make you think, yeah, I think this team has what it takes to maybe go all the way?
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, I've been a part of, I think everyone that's played sports has been a part of, great teams and bad teams. And this team is definitely, we're trending towards the great team side of things. We have guys that care and want to win. And, you know, the new guys came in and they've really, meshed well with, all the guys that returned from last year. And I think that's a big part of it. I think you need to have, good, genuine people in that locker room in order to bring everyone together. And, the first part of this year has really done that for us. And yeah, it's we're trending that way for sure. Hopefully we can, win a championship and prove it. But the characteristics are definitely there.
And Jordan, I think there was a concerted kind of effort this year, it seemed, to maybe recruit a little bit more experience. Have you learned much from somebody? Obviously, you're a bit of a veteran now yourself, but have you learned much from somebody like Marcus Ericsson coming in with all of his experience? Has he been teaching the younger guys a little bit?
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience, that guy, for sure. But he's
Is that a way of saying that he's old?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. No, we like to give it to him a little bit about that. But I say this to him all the time, like, if I'm 40 years old and still playing professional hockey, like, I'm gonna take that. That's a win.
That's it,
like, if
What's
I'm
the
40 years
secret?
old and I look anything like he does and can play hockey as well as him, that's a win. So, but yeah, to answer your question, he's he's definitely fit in really nicely. He's not an overly talkative guy, but I think that presence in the locker room, and even during practice and watching the different skills that he has and the things he does before and after practice, I think it definitely helps guys realize, like, okay, this is what it takes to be playing professional hockey for 20 plus years or whatever it is, right? So it's definitely something that we all kind of look at. And even the new guys that necessarily aren't old guys, but they're younger. They're in the gym and doing skills before and after practice. They're just wanting to get better. So it's nice to have that environment, because that's that's what's gonna make our team better down the stretch, is getting better every day.
Over the summer, when you went back, I assume you went back to Western Canada and enjoyed your summer out there. What was it that made you think, you know what? Yeah, I'll give Belfast another year.
Yeah, I mean, I went home and played a lot of golf with my buddies, and you know, I had I love golf, and obviously golf in Belfast is pretty big, so that was a key point. But honestly, it's you know it's when you win championships with a team, it creates those memories and those positive memories, and it really, that's what brought me back, because at the end of the day, I want to have more success personally, and obviously because I've seen the community of Belfast, how unbelievable it can be. You want to create more memories for that community and for yourself, like I said. So yeah, and then obviously I have a girlfriend here too, so that probably helps bring
Always
me back
helps.
too. But
Always helps. It always works that way. That's what happens when you come to Belfast, mate. Sorry about
but
that.
no, it's but yeah, like I said, you win championships, and obviously you're gonna have a positive train of thought about a city and a team, and I love it here, and hopefully I can help bringing some championships back to Belfast.
I'm wearing my Friendship 4 jumper here tonight because obviously we're a couple of weeks away from that, and it's an absolutely phenomenal tournament. In 2 years' time, the University of North Dakota are going to be flying over to be part of that, your alma mater. That's a great thing. That's one hell of a hockey program.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself, Gabe Bast, and Grant Mismash, who's here last year. He's in Coventry this year. We all played together. We all lived together. We went to school at the same time, same years. That was two guys that really last year kind of, helped bring me here. Was, two of my best buddies were going to play on the team. So, that hockey program is, I'm so thankful for it because of the people I met and the opportunities that I was given because of what the program did for me. And it's cool to see, like, it's kind of coming full circle. They're going to be here in a couple of years, and being able to play here, it's awesome. So I don't know if you guys have been able to kind of see the rink or like look it up on Google or whatnot, but it's unbelievable. And Saturday night, a home game against the Minnesota Gophers is there's nothing like it in the world. You won't not an empty seat in that place, and not a sober person in sight, that's for sure.
Well, that's it. That's it. Sorry, David, before you come in there. That's it about like college sports in general. You talk about college football, you talk about college hockey, and the fact that it's just so many students who are all just there for a good time, but also have the tribalism of supporting their college, just gives it that sort of edge as well, and that sort of like that's why you've got places like Ann Arbor for Michigan that have like huge stadiums bigger than like Old Trafford, that they'll hold so many people because it's so popular, because all the students just love the atmosphere of going to a sporting event.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember my first year, my freshman year, I sit on the bench before we get dressed for warm-ups and stuff, and this is an hour before puck drop, 6 o'clock or whatever it is. And I remember sitting on the bench, and they opened the doors at 6. Game was at 7, and 6 o'clock hits, and the crowd of students that come sprinting down the stairs just to get seats on the glass or get their seats that they want to get is unbelievable. It's crazy how fast everyone's sprinting, and they're lining up to get in the door at 7 a.m.
Love it.
On a Friday morning. So it's unbelievable. The atmosphere, just really the culture and just the pride that they have in the school is awesome.
Well, good. Sorry to bring you back to planet Earth and Belfast, but with a couple of big games this weekend. Manchester Storm come in. Of course, you've put us that hat trick at the weekend, puts us through to a semi-final matchup against Masher, who you'll see down the line. But this weekend, you know, 2 big games against Manchester Storm, first time we've seen them this season.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's always exciting to play a team. You know, the first couple times, it's kind of it can be a kind of a feeling out process, but you know, neither side really knows what each other have until we get there, right? So, you know, it's going to be exciting, and it's nice to play a new team other than the Scottish teams for sure.
I'm trying to think back through my stats book here. Is this our first home double header of the season?
I think it is.
So that little advantage of sleeping in your own bed and coming back to the rink the next day as well. It's just those little advantages that, you know, Sheffield had that over us the other week. We had to travel to Nottingham, had to travel up to Sheffield, and they're sitting, you know, sleeping in their own beds waiting for us. It's a big advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're at home, you have, you know, your routine that you do so often, right? Morning skate, come home, play Xbox, have a nap for a couple hours, and then you're ready to go right to the rink. And then when you're on the road, your routine kind of gets, you know, a little mixed around. Sometimes you might be traveling the morning of and get in a little late. You only get like an hour nap or whatever it is, and you know, so those little things definitely add up, and they definitely help for the home side. And it's going to be real nice to be home for 2 this weekend for sure.
One thing before Paddy comes back in, I like to ask the lads when they're on just their little comments on Taff, on the work he does for you boys behind the scenes. Like the guy speaks so highly of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, Davey, he's nonstop. You know, some days more than others, he'll, you know, I should say most days he's in a great mood and he's happy to be at the rink, and you know, and then there's some days where you can tell it's been a long night where he's working for the fellas or whatever it is. So we're always so thankful for him because he's, you know, he really does it all. I mean, you know, moving all of our gear from the SSC to Dundonald after Sunday's game, and you know, we're practicing this morning on Tuesday. Like, he does it all, and I know, you know, Pirate and you know, he has help, but really when it comes down to him is, you know, he's doing it all, you know, by himself and for us. So he's awesome. He's unreal, and he's obviously a lot of fun to hang out with too. He's likes to give it to the boys, and the boys give it back to him. But so yeah.
Jordan, there was a few weeks back, just speaking about Taff, you had a broken twig and you went straight over, got the stick from him back on the ice over to the circle, and bang, goal. Did you buy Taff a drink that night for getting the stick out so quick? Or?
Yeah, no, I definitely get him a bottle of wine for that one. You know, I've been on the bench with him obviously quite a few times, and his brain, I can't imagine how, you know, quickly he has to think through things, because, you know, 1 minute a D-man's changing or a forward's changing, and then within the next half second someone's breaking a stick and everyone's yelling a number at him, and he's all ready to go, and then, you know, next thing you know, someone's yelling at him to get more steel because their blades aren't sharp, and like his brain just processes so quick, and I think I would be way too stressed out to kind of deal with that. But obviously it comes with practice and stuff. But yeah, he's great to have on the bench, and you know, he's on his toes at all times.
One last question. There's a couple of people coming in. One from Eve and one from Laura, more or less asking the same thing. What's it like to have a puppy?
It's good. Yeah, he's over here. He's Henry. Yeah, send him over here. It's good. He's waking up early in the morning.
Here we go. This is the content everybody wants.
Yeah.
Oh, man, look at that.
Say hi.
Hello, Henry.
Hi, buddy.
Fantastic.
Daddy, forget whatever else you had planned. Let's just talk about it.
No, he's good. He's you know, obviously it's a responsibility, but he's cute and he's fun to hang out with. He's lots of energy, and the only thing that sucks is he's obviously not fully potty trained yet, or you know, wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's a bit of an adjustment, but it's been a lot of fun, and he's a cute little guy for sure.
Fantastic. Well, that's a fantastic addition to the household, mate. We wish you well. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Enjoy the weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Cheers, Jordan.
Do you know what? I love having guys like Jordan Kawaguchi on. I love like when all the guys come on, it's fantastic. But you can tell, Davey, that he enjoys being here.
Absolutely, and how often have we spoken about the good ladies of Belfast, mate? And get their hooks in, and multi-year deal. So he's great to have about the place. Superb. That line of his is going really well at the minute. They have been pretty electric over this last 3 or 4 weeks. I'm sure we'll talk about player of the month, and I'm sure his name will feature in that for sure.
100%. Let me see. Right, so we're going off. Our next guest has just appeared. Absolutely bang on time. A man who has lived in Manchester nearly as long as I've lived in Manchester, and he's back again. This time he's behind the bench. Welcome to View from the Bridge, Dallas Erhardt. How are you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear us okay? Oh. I think maybe we have some camera issues or something. Can't hear. I think you're chatting, but we can't seem to hear you. No. Okay, I'll drop Dallas out for a moment and see if he can sort that out. And what we'll do is we'll crack on a little bit to talk about the games, and I'll chat to Dallas Erhardt to make sure that he's got Belfast Giants. We're in two. We'll look at the post games for the games up ahead. Belfast Giants took on the Cardiff Devils in a game in the league on Friday night. Let's hear from the coaches while I have a chat with Dallas to see what we can do.
Really pleased. I thought it was an excellent performance. I thought we moved the puck really well. I thought our transition was back to where it was probably 3-4 weeks ago. And we played with a bit of jam today when we had to. We were solid in our end, and we scored some nice goals. And I think our best players were our best players.
One thing that we really saw you utilise tonight was Cole Sanford, but not only his goal scoring prowess, but also into the zone. You kick it out to him, and it kind of allowed him to get his legs going. And he seems a lot more confident now than he did a few weeks ago, playing in that kind of role.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing really well. I thought he was the best player today. I thought 88's line, his line today with Pellini and Joey, I kept going back to them because they were on fire. And but I thought everybody turned up to play today, and you have to beat a team like Belfast. You have to do. And very, very pleasing Friday night.
We weren't very good. Cardiff was very good. Pretty much that simple, really.
There was good moments in your game. I thought your penalty kill was really good tonight, and you get the short-handed goal, and it puts you in a position where at least you're very in the game, despite the fact you're not performing necessarily in that first period.
Yeah, you know what? I think when you look back at it, you'd be surprised that we were in that game. But you're right. The special teams was probably the one positive there. We're perfect on the kill, and obviously get one on the kill, and then our power play gets us one as well. Power play's been struggling. It starts with a shot and a good net front presence. Didn't think we did enough of that throughout the entire game, but the reality is Cardiff was just simply better tonight, and that's frustrating. Obviously, we have to pick ourselves up. We've got a very big game on Sunday. It's a bit of a humbling experience for us coming in here, and we have to learn from that. We've got to be better. We need everybody. We've got some guys not pulling their weight right now, and we need everybody going on Sunday.
That's from the game against the Cardiff Devils that took place on Friday night. Let's try Dallas Erhardt again, see if he can hear us. Dallas, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, we're in.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy? Okay.
Good. Just struggling a little bit, but that's all right.
Yeah, we'll battle ahead. We really do appreciate you coming and joining us. Obviously, 2 games against the Belfast Giants in. You're coming over to Belfast to take on the Giants in this weekend. But before we come and talk about those, you've made the transition now. You've haven't spent like so many years. How many years was it you played on the ice in Manchester? It's guts of a decade.
Yeah, this is my 10th season with the Storm now.
Mm-hmm. But now the decision been made to take a step back and be an assistant coach. But when you're needed, the skates will go back on.
yeah. Up a little recently, but
Our sound seems to be going again. Whatever's so can you still hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it about Manchester that keeps you coming back? Oh, have we gone again? Hello? No, I can't hear. I can't hear anything from Dallas, unfortunately. We'll drop him out again. Maybe we'll try to get back to him in a bit.
Me and Stephen will talk about the game. You head off there, and
I'll go and have a chat. I'll give Dallas a call here, and I'll drop out here. I'll give you the highlights from Cardiff, and you guys can talk about the Cardiff game.
Okay, Stevie, this is I think Paddy said he's going to stick the highlights of the game, but it was a game I was at, and I'm not sure that he's paused there. I'm never going to disagree with Adam over the course of a game, but I think it was a little bit tighter than maybe when the scoreline suggests. 1-goal game, empty netter towards the end of it. There was just a few individual mistakes cost us. You knew that Cardiff in their first home game against us this season are going to come out fast, and they did, and they got an early goal, and it sort of just put us on our heels a wee bit and sort of played an uphill battle the rest of the night.
Yeah, well, Davey, you'll know better than me being in the arena. Obviously, you see sometimes a bit more. I agree. I think there was just a few moments that it was maybe slight lost mistake or focus or a slight mistake. Their second goal came from we just couldn't get the puck out, and it just got turned over, and suddenly they're in on the goaltender. That's the first goal there, but the second one, I think if you can see it in the highlights, we just struggled to get it clear of the zone, and Cardiff get the turnover and get a quick goal. That makes it 2-0. But Giants were chasing the whole time, but they were close and they were tight in it. I did the game in Belfast against Cardiff with Michael Owens, and Michael made a really good point. Both of these teams will take points off of each other over the year. I think the games have been that tight. You could tell that, and sure enough, 2 games, a win apiece. Just like the first game, tight, but one team's got to win, and both times it's been a 2-goal margin that the team's won by.
I just feel that there's probably very little between these two teams, especially again, still playing a little light-bodied ourselves, and don't want to make excuses that way. But when we got it back to 2-each, and then they scored the 2 very quick goals, was where the game obviously ended up. We just left ourselves too much of a hill to climb. But overall, I've seen us play worse in the NIC or in the Welsh National Ice Arena and
the Kyle Baun Arena,
Wales, the Kyle Baun Arena. Yes, happy anniversary. And it's just funny. We were talking about that earlier on, that win today. Obviously, 2 goals that night from Jim Vandermeer as well, and we're seeing a little bit of talk on the internet during the week there about a Jim Vandermeer type defenseman. But I didn't think it was that bad. Just a few individual mistakes at bad times cost us goals, and it was just too much of an uphill struggle for us to get. Maybe not enough lines going. Adam talked about it in his post game there. We certainly had one line really going, and a lot of hard work going on. I'm not going to say guys weren't working hard for it, but just things not really connecting at the minute.
Well, yeah, you had Rhodes Mitchell-King coming up for I think his first game with the Giants this season. So he's coming up from the National League on the 2-way contract there. He's on a line with in a D partner with Mike Lee. You've got Kieran Long having to play D again as well. So a little bit up against it, and not that I don't think that anything of that stood out, as you say. I mean, there was top end players just had slight miscues. There was Marcus Eriksson and JJ Pickenick sort of bumped into each other, and that sort of led to a breakdown and an attack, and the Devils go up the other end and score. It just a few slight miscues, and when you have 2 teams who are so tightly matched, that can just be the difference.
There was a real frustration. Sorry, Davey, I'll come to you because you're obviously at this game, and we'll have a quick chat here, and then we'll give that. We'll try to go back to Dallas. But you were at this game, and there's a real frustration. We're seeing here in the highlights, Giants obviously 2-0 down. To pull it back to 2-2, But then, to give up that goal to make it 3-2, and then the goal straight from the face-off was a real frustrating kick in the teeth. That.
Yeah, I think the fourth goal more than the third goal, rocked us because you're one behind, you're still well in the game. That goal, 5 seconds afterwards, they went straight from the face-off, a broken play, go down and get a shot away and whistle. I actually didn't see either of the goals on the night. I was doing something, and both of them within 30 seconds. And it was kind of felt a bit like game over at that stage. Stevie talks about Mitchell Rhodes-King being up. Young Hamill obviously came and played a few shifts for us. Out there throwing his body about, trying to earn his ice time, did really well. Ben Lake obviously having to play on the day again. We'll come on to the Laker and Longer, obviously making their 350th appearance, but 349 appearances in Ice Arena Wales. It just wasn't meant to be on the night. That fourth goal just killed the game as a contest. We huffed and we puffed, but we just couldn't get another goal in behind them. So unfortunately we got it to 4-3, and then the empty netter just sealed the game. But we worked hard all night, it felt, but things just didn't go for us on the night.
The goals for the Giants come from Brett Pelini, Ben Davies. Sorry, both of the Devils came from Brett Pelini, Ben Davies, Josh McDonald, Cole Sanford with the last two, including the empty netter. For Belfast Giants, it's Nicholas Gay, watch him play, scoring every day, and Brandon Whistle, and we just spoke with him, Jordan Kawaguchi. Highlights from this game are available from our friends at Cardiff Devils TV. Let's get back and see if we can get Dallas back. How you doing, Dallas? Oh, you're muted now. Hold on. You're on mute. Let's take you off mute if you can.
There we go.
Oh.
No. Damn it. One of you stop.
No, you stop. Right. So try again. You go for it, Dallas. You do it. How's that? Oh, no, we still can't hear you. I still can't hear you.
I'm going to have to speak to Finner about getting him some good broadband here. Like,
I don't think it's the broadband. It's maybe a save, but
it wasn't meant to be.
But the one last thing about that Cardiff game. Well, maybe Dallas tries his phone. One last thing about that Cardiff game, Davey, was a bit of an incident at the end with regards to Jackson Whistle, and a bit of an altercation at the end, but nobody gets involved really, and that was a bit of frustration.
So you run the risk, I suppose, fighting in the last 5 minutes, and Dallas would be the perfect man to chat to about this. You run into the fighting in the last 5 minutes of the game, and your suspension, your third man in suspension, secondary altercation suspension. So in a game that you've already lost, it's 5-3. There's seconds left. Do you take a number and save it for the next game? This is one day asked Dallas as a former player that played that kind of game. Is that
Dallas, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Davey's just talking there about the incident at the end of our game against the Cardiff Devils. And sorry, Davey, you take it on from there.
So Dallas, I don't know whether you've seen the incident or not, but seconds left in the game. There's a little bit of a scuffle in front. Jackson Whistle gives a little love tap, a little slash to the ankles, and bit of a melee breaks out. And Paddy's saying, in days gone by, there's probably 10 sets of gloves on the ice and maybe potential bench clearance. But now the way the game has changed a little and stops and stuff, you just can't be fighting in the last 5 minutes. You can't be third man in. You can't be secondary altercations, or you're sitting for a weekend. You're better taking a number and sorting it out the next time.
Yeah, it's you don't want to hurt your team any more than you really can, and especially this kind of how the years have come and gone. That every team is pretty good. So if you're hurting your team for the next week, like that little 5 minutes of glory really fades off really quickly.
And for you as a guy that played that way, and now poacher turned gamekeeper, if you like, in the role that you've taken on, is that something that you've matured into realizing, maybe every single time it did that, maybe it wasn't the greatest of ideas?
You always think back afterwards. Every situation's a little different, and sometimes, they just come, but it's one of those ones that the sum of the whole has to be more important. So some of those times when you kind of take it into your own hands, you might be getting yourself to feel better instead of doing something for the team. So it's one of those ones that you really have to kind of look at what's the bigger picture nowadays.
Yeah, but in that sort of coaching capacity that you're in now, that you're responsible for guys and sort of maybe a tap on the shoulder, just keep your powder dry. We'll see them down the road.
Well, that is a nice thing about this league. You will definitely see that same guy and that same team at some point, and a number of times. So there's always that chance, but again, that kind of mindset is sort of drifting away, and guys are a little more focused on kind of the more civilized aspects of the game, we'll say. But that you still like to see that intensity for the guys kind of wanting to, but nowadays it's being smart about it.
Let's bring you back to the question I asked you before everything cut out, which was what is it about Manchester that keeps you coming back, mate?
It's been a kind of a number of things that's just kind of translated over the years. It's been a good group. Like I have had Finner here for 9 years now, and then we just keep seeming to bring in guys that have really kind of bought into what I kind of enjoy my hockey life to be around. And then I have the family here now that is pretty settled in, that my kid's in school, my wife's working, and got a nice little community here that's really become our home. So it's one of those ones that just over the years has really kind of taken its roots into us.
One of the things about that rink in Altrincham as well is the fan base are very passionate. They know they're not play. They know that their team isn't playing at the SSE Arena or at the National Ice Centre in Nottingham, but they make that home their own.
Yeah, that's it's definitely one of those ones that you make it as good as you can, and our fans try and do it, and they've been loud for us. So we've had some fantastic support, and it's the same thing with the players. You come here, and if you love it, you tell yourself you love it, and you will, and you can make a lot of fun out of it.
How frustrating was it for the team that game recently that got called after the 2 periods? I know there was frustration from the fans and that kind of side of thing, but what's the locker room like in that moment? Are you just desperate to get out and play that 3rd period? Is that frustrating as well?
It's always frustrating. Like you never want to see a game without a conclusion, no matter what the stakes are, what time of the year it is. But it's one of those ones that as it kind of keeps on going, then it becomes a little tougher and tougher. And the end result of it just being called at that point is it's a tough one. It's the same thing. You don't want to see a draw. You don't want to see a game not finished. But things happen. We had to move on from it, and seem to have been getting to a better place from it.
Yep, go on, Davey. You're on mute, mate. You're on mute. It's all going on today. It's all going on this week.
Sorry, lads. Only been doing this for 20 years. Fellas, obviously coming in this weekend, big doubleheader in Belfast. First time either team's seen each other this season, apart from on the videos. Just looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, it's one of the nice things about the Belfast one is when you can kind of get these double headers. It's not very common, and especially for a double away, it's a kind of a nice treat of kind of some of the situations you see back home and in different leagues. So going there, being able to play the 2 games back to back, it's always a lot of fun. Kind of gets into the mood for that the aggregate kind of game situation where you might face later on down the road, kind of in that mindset where it's a 6-period hockey game. But it's going to be a lot of fun to go over there and have those 2 games.
We often talk here about a double home or a double away. It's actually an easier weekend than traveling one, staying one. Little mini series there, if there's any bad blood on Saturday, it sometimes spills into Sunday. It's something for fans as well. It's a little storyline over the weekend.
Yeah, the single travel, I know players like it, owners and fans may not like it as much, but it's easier on the body, but it does tend to lead into a little maybe excitement on the second game, but everyone's kind of looking forward to it. And it's one of those ones where every shift matters because you probably have 100 more over the weekend against the same guys. So it's a unique one and kind of for some interesting hockey moments.
Dallas, the first photo that pops up of you if you Google your name, don't know if you've ever Googled yourself, but first photo that pops up has some long flowing locks. And I'm just wondering, now that you're taking that step behind the bench, can we look forward to seeing some regrowth back on the bench now?
My wife would like it. My daughter would like it, but too much. So it became a hazard with her. So that's when it ended up having to go. So until she, I can convince her to stop pulling on it and getting in the way, then it's staying away.
Mate, listen, low maintenance. That's what it's all about. Before I let you go, one thing that obviously it really interests me is that obviously we saw a goal this weekend for Ray Francis and some of the young British lads, and I'm talking about like Josh Crawley, who is a neighbour of mine, just lives round the corner here. He's a great lad, and obviously his connection with his dad, going back to the Storm of the Old and what he does with the juniors. But you've got a great bunch of young lads coming through. I'm thinking about Noah, thinking about Bradley, and the guys here. From your point of view now, having been, if you dare we say, the elder statesman on the ice, helping these guys along, but now being an assistant coach, you've got a good core of British players there that you can bring into the game.
Yeah, it's been a nice thing, and we had also Mike Moran with the academy.
Yes,
he's coached these kids from basically when they're just learning to tie their skates. So that's been a nice end, and seeing where they are now. Like I remember a couple of them coming out for the skate with the fans afterwards. As little squirts out there, but they've been awesome. They like Francis getting that goal. He's been working as hard as he can all year. Crawley, I don't know how he didn't score in that last game. He had a nice little breakaway chance. That, it's nice to see like they're putting in the work. We see it week in, week out, and having it translate in the game, is awesome for those guys. They love being out here. They're great in the room. They're great for all the teammates there. You could see when he did score, the reaction from everybody else. That kind of tells a lot, when you have that kind of buy-in, not just for him from the fans, but your teammates. That's kind of the biggest pat on the back you can get, is when they're more excited about it than anybody else.
It's brilliant, and I know that from speaking to them, I know that Josh's mom and dad are traveling over to Belfast this weekend to go and just see him play there. Looking forward to that. But listen, we appreciate you coming and joining us, and we appreciate you persevering and being part of this. It's I apologize. Sorry, Stevie, did you want to come in with one more?
Well, it's just on talking about the young Brits and Dallas having played obviously in the national system. I was just wondering, what was your take on the tournament there at the weekend, where there was a young squad taken away by Team GB, and there was a lot of young guys who got a chance to wear that jersey who people might not have expected. And when you think about obviously the goaltending duo of Ben Bounds and Jackson Whistle, they weren't there. It was giving other people an opportunity, and there was like Mason Alderson, some of those guys. What did you think about that idea of taking a younger squad to a tournament like that?
It's a good experience. The program either has to develop or die, is kind of like the saying. So getting those guys in there is some good experience, some good minutes. As soon as you're around that situation, it pushes to kind of strive for it further. And if it's the guys, they bought in, they worked, and it's good for them.
Thanks, Mike.
We got a drop-in visitor here, but
Michael, is it Mike Moore enjoying the background there?
more and more guys coming up through the ranks, so giving them a chance to go out there, earn it, show something is definitely a good chance for them.
Yeah, 100%. This was good to see. Listen, mate, we appreciate you that time. You've given us far too much of your time. We really do appreciate it, and thanks for persevering with that. Enjoy your trip to Belfast. Not too much though.
We'll see you there.
It's go time. It's show time. It's go time. The whole time. Scoring goal time. Let them know time. It's go time. The whole
Good on Doss for persevering and joining us. That we do really appreciate that. It's good to hear that bit of an insight, especially now he's taking that step behind the bench. Guys, we got one more game to deal with. Let's get the post games from the game against the Dundee Stars that took place on Sunday.
Yeah, I actually thought we were really good tonight. The game was tighter than it had to be. One, I thought Dundee was competing really hard, but two, I thought we had some decisions that kind of cost us. But I thought we were in control of the entire game. Like I said, it could have been a little easier on us. If we had made some better decisions. But I certainly can't complain. In that third period, I thought we were great. I thought everybody was doing the right things to make sure. And obviously, Gooch had a hell of a night, and that line was great. And then him to start off that third period with that goal, that one gives us a little bit of a breather and allows us to just kind of manage the rest of that period.
I thought we were on our heels quite a bit most of the game. The puck possession is probably 80-20 puck possession there, but we never gave up. We kept pushing. Offensively, they had us in our zone quite a bit there tonight. We just can't stand to watch a team like that play. We have to close down time and space, and we did that with our opportunities in the game right till the end there. Unfortunately, we didn't get the bounces that we needed up front, but Cruiser, our goalie, gave us a chance to win tonight, and that's all you can ask for in goaltender, and kept us in that game for quite long periods, especially in that second period there. We're long stretches inside our zone there, but we capitalized on our opportunity, but we just need some kind of like secondary scoring right now. 5 goals on the weekend, 4 of the 5 came from our top line, so we need some other guys to chip in here as well. But we got to forget about the cup right now. Obviously, it's it ended up in a disappointment for us not getting through to the next round, but now we got to focus on the league. Plenty of hockey to be played here. But it gets going next weekend against Cardiff, a big game against a very good team, and we have to prepare all week for it. And it's one game at a time, but for us to get better, we need to close down time and space on teams with as much offense as Belfast has there tonight, and start some practice this week.
Goals for the Belfast Giants. It was a hat-trick for Jordan Kawaguchi, as we've already spoke about. Mike Lee and Jake got out with the empty netter with the other 2 goal scorers. And for the Dundee Stars, on with Spencer Nass with 2 of them. In nets, Jackson Whistle and Emil Cruz, your referees were Andy Dalton and Chris Wells. Coming into this game, the Dundee Stars had lost to the Glasgow Clan, which eliminated them from the Challenge Cup. What was to be decided here was to whether the Belfast Giants would top the group, go straight through to the semi-finals, or would it be the Glasgow Clan? The Belfast Giants needed the win, Stevie. The Belfast Giants got the win.
Yep, pretty much, yeah. As you say, it was essentially the end of the group stage, but a bit of a cup final to get that by. And Giants, I thought, were pretty in control from the start, really. Dundee have had our number a little bit this year, but whatever happened, whatever changed, maybe it was just with that prize hanging right there for the Giants, they just had that little bit more desperation and eagerness to go and get the win. So finally, we get a win over Dundee, and it seals the top of the grip. Weirdly, Glasgow do have a higher win percentage than us.
They do, because we have more points, but they have a higher win percentage.
Yeah, so it's kind of just a bit of a funky one, but Giants are into the semi-final, and it's Manchester we'll see in the semis. So, isn't it?
Not Manchester, no, we don't know who we're going to face in the semis yet.
Right.
We have no idea who face the semis because there will be the elimination game between Nottingham and Glasgow, but between Nottingham, Glasgow, and the Coventry Blaze, there's a differing win percentage, and it'll be the highest ranked win percentage of those 3 will face us, and the lowest ranked will face the Sheffield Steelers. The Challenge Cup, Davey.
Permutations.
It's one of those. It's like initially I thought, well, we're going to be facing the Coventry Blaze.
That's why I referenced that the Jordan during the interview about Matcher. I just thought we were playing Coventry, and the winner of the play-in played. So how can the winner of the play-in actually end up higher ranked than the team that
I'm going to bring up the standings. It's Challenge Cup standings. So let me see.
And how can we have less win percentage than because we played 12 points and they played 12 games, got 15 points. Sure.
Here are your. I'll try to zoom this in because it's so obviously. So Coventry Blaze and Nottingham Panthers have a 0.6 win percentage. Against the 10 games they've played, they've won 60% of them.
Right.
Whereas the Glasgow Clan have won 67% of their games, having played 12 games. We've won 58%, but we got extra points regards to overtime losses that have sort of seen us that extra point through.
Right. So it's win percentage. I thought it was points per game.
It goes to win percentage now. So between basically, if Glasgow beat Nottingham, they have a higher win percentage than the Coventry Blaze, and therefore the Coventry Blaze will be seeded 4th, and the Glasgow Clan will be seeded 3rd.
And we could end up playing Glasgow again.
We could end up playing Glasgow again. We are either going to play Coventry Blaze or Glasgow. We cannot play the Nottingham Panthers.
Feels like it's written in the stars. It'll be Glasgow.
Because why make these things easy when you just make them difficult? Let's go back to
surely that's not possible. We could end up playing the same team from our group in the semi-final.
Yes.
Well, that was well thought out.
Yeah. That's why when we spoke about it the other week, the whole thing has to change. It has to change. And the Hitchcock approach.
Let's move on. Let's move on to another question. This is nonsense.
well, let's bring it back to your assessment of the game then, Davey.
Oh, I thought it was a game that we probably should have won a lot more comfortably. All the metrics, all the statistics would tell you that this was a blowout win if you didn't know the actual score. Credit Dundee for hanging in there. Their goalie, Cruz, played very well. I thought in the second period we were absolutely dominant. I don't know if it was you, me, and Coach, or you, me, and Sis were talking. No, it wouldn't have been Sis because he was obviously commentary. So you, me, and Coach were talking at the end of the second and the third period, saying that should have been game, set, and match during that second period there with long opening shifts. A lot of their goalie, for keeping them in the game, he didn't hold an awful lot on the night. A lot of rebounds, a lot of pucks fumbled, and we just weren't in there for the secondary scoring opportunities. But, credit Jordan Kawaguchi coming up with the goods, getting the hat trick. I was looking for John Smith, and he didn't disappoint with it. Have you seen him? You do now, But I thought
this is a lovely pass, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Lee had obviously scored one himself on the night. I've seen somebody saying about Mike Lee on Twitter earlier. He's either, what was it they said? He's either like a 2 out of 10 or he's a 10 out of 10. He has no middle ground. He transitions the puck so fast. We talked about him the other weekend. In the ilk of a Derek Walser, that type of D-man that can carry the puck and shoot it from the blue line, can carry it right into the slot and score from there too. Big on the power play. It's penalty kill minutes as well. I think he's probably playing, he played 22, 23 minutes the other night, but there has been games where he's been playing upwards of 30 minutes. So especially when other D-men have been out injured, he's been really relied upon to be the go-to guy this season. But I thought, we were well worth the win, despite it taking us towards the end of the game to really close it out. And I think Mark Lefebvre pretty much admitted that himself. On the second night they were probably just slightly second best.
I don't mean this today, but why is it taken to now for that victory over Dundee? Davey, what's different? What's different now to what we played in the?
You look at you speak to the players there. You talk to Jordan Kawaguchi earlier in the show, and he says confidence was. The defeats in the Champions League, despite, the mindset maybe should have been, was the Champions League. You play Thursday in Geneva or wherever, and you have to be back on Saturday in Dundee. And guys' confidence was rocked. Defensively, we weren't great at that stage of the season. A lot of injuries. Sam Jones out, McFadden out, Roach out, who else? There's been a pile of injuries. Just couldn't get that cohesion, and that early season form wasn't good enough, and it's just starting to be more like Belfast Giants hockey at the minute. The confidence is starting to grow game on game. Beat the Panthers away, with a decent enough performance in Sheffield, despite coming out on the wrong side. We beat Cardiff at home, close enough game away. Unfortunately, we came out on the wrong side of that. So it's still a little inconsistent, but there's definitely, we'll not say green shoots because there's more than green shoots. You know, this is a very good hockey team and expecting big things from them here. If you'd have said to me at August, you know, you'll top your Challenge Cup group, it doesn't matter how you do it. You know, we've topped our Challenge Cup group. Yeah, we wanted to go in there as the best percentage maybe of all the teams. Hasn't worked out that way this season, but who knows with the way this Challenge Cup draws, like anything can happen clearly.
We don't know who we're going to play. Steve, it like, you know, I thought that Jackson had a great game. Talk about Emil Cruz there as well. We heard on commentary from Simon, those who are watching commentary, he seemed to drop a lot, he seemed to rebound a lot, but ultimately he faced a lot of shots in that game.
Well, yeah, 57 saves or something like that. He actually came away with the highest save percentage. And conceded, I guess, because he got 4, and then there was that empty netter, so that doesn't count against him. So he had a good game. He did bobble a lot, but we saw that there was one of the Champions Hockey League goaltenders did that as well. And if you're not getting bodies quite around the net, then you're not going to gobble up those rebounds. And I think maybe Dundee did a good job of not letting too many of those drops. They didn't let the Giants players be the first one to pounce on it. There's one where Gucci did finally get in behind, and just Cruz didn't know where the puck was. So yeah, I thought the Giants, maybe if they could have got more players around the net, but I would say credit Stars for making sure they didn't for most of the game.
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly that. Right. Well, we'll wrap that one up there. Belfast Giants go through to the semi-final of the Challenge Cup. We will find out who we play in due course. The actual elimination game, I believe, will take place in Glasgow on the 17th of December. So it'll be probably January before we find out who the semi-finalists will be. Guys, one thing I want to do now, just before we start to wrap things up, is the Player of the Month award for October. We asked everybody on Twitter and the likes to give us their nominees, and we've drawn up the short list of 4. Number 1, Jackson Whistle. Number 23, we just spoke about him, Mike Lee. Number 63, Jake Gaudette. And number 91, Nicholas Gay. Watch him play, scoring every day. I'm going to set my stall out first, and I'm going to say Jake Gaudette. I've been really enjoying watching him play. I thought he had a great October. I think that he's come in with that sort of pedigree that we want to see from his, and I thought that he was an outstanding presence on the ice in the month of October. So he'll be getting my vote. Davey?
I could make an argument, as I do most months, for any of the 4. Yep. Talked about Mike Lee there in the last little section on what he's brought on the ice this year. Jackson has carried most of the weight over the last month in terms of goaltending. I think maybe the only game Alex played was away in Guildford, and you know, a bounce away from getting that crucial win for us. He gave us a chance to win that night. Unfortunately, we couldn't come up with the goals. Nicholas Gay's just been outstanding. He really has been a really big addition. I think JJ Picknett was good this month, but I'm going with 6-3 as well. Jake Gaudette. You asked me earlier for my nomination. It would be Jake Gaudette, so he'll be getting my vote too.
Stevie B.
Yeah, I can't argue with Jake Gaudette. I think he's started to be a player who's really getting in around the crease, and he got a tip a few weeks back in the Cardiff game against Cardiff there on Friday night. He had another one where I'm pretty sure the puck went through his legs because he was in on the screen in front of the goaltender. So he's getting around the puck. I'm a big Mike Lee fan. I think he ascended as the season went on last year, and I think this year he's kicked on. He's had that extra responsibility with the likes of Gabe Bast and Josh Roach being injured and Sam Jones for a time. He's essentially, for a period there, been the number 1 D-man that you've had on the team, and I just think a little bit like you're saying, Davey, you know, we can have a 2, but he more often than not for me so far this year anyway is having closer to 10s. That goal at the weekend for Kawaguchi, it was Mike Lee that started it behind his net. He turned up ice, and there was a player, a Dundee Star, right on him, but he just had a very neat hands to quickly move the puck away, get the pass away, and then he followed on up into the O-zone. Great little deke and a lovely assist. Probably, for me, maybe the assist of the year so far. So I would give Mike Lee the nod for this month.
And that's so. But then the votes all come down to you. We will open the voting on Wednesday morning. It'll go on until Saturday afternoon, and we will be handing over the most coveted prize in world hockey, which is the A View from the Bridge Player of the Month award for October. Big thanks to Phil Cabanall in regards to that, and the Belfast Giants for helping us award it. Let's drop that out there, guys. Just a couple of things before we start to wrap things up here. Obviously. Where was I looking at here? Oh yes, there we go. Let's put that on with regards to some of the scores and things that are coming in. A couple of scores. Just we're talking about parity over the couple of years. A couple of scores have come in from over the last couple of months. A couple of scores that have come in this weekend. One of the ones which shocked us maybe was the 4-0 win away at Sheffield for the Cardiff Devils, Stevie.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a shutout away at Sheffield. It's not the first time it's happened this year. So Devils, fair play. I mean, we said they're a good team. I was listening today to another podcast, and they were saying,
"What? What?
Doing my research for you're not on a Monday night, so what am I supposed to do?" But yeah, and I mean, they were saying that the Devils and the Giants and the Steelers and the Panthers will probably all just be up there again at the end of the year, and I think. Yeah, there's the Giants are taking points off the Devils. The Steelers are taking points off the Giants. Devils taking points off the Steelers. You know, I think that kind of mini round robin's kind of starting. So, fair play, Devils. I think though I'm starting to lean a little bit more into the Davy McGimpsey camp of okay, sure, but what's going on with the Giants?
Davey would probably approve that. Let me ask Davey. Let me see what happens here. Davey, what were your thoughts on Cardiff Devils beating the Sheffield Steelers 4-0 away?
Very good.
That's sort of what I was expecting. The one of the things that there's a bit of movement as well, player movement happening within the Elite League. Obviously, we talked about that Didrik Stenson has left the Fife Flyers. They've brought in just today Simon Debris, who played for Nottingham Panthers and the Glasgow Clan, a guy who plays NHL experience, played a couple of seasons for Eisbären Berlin. A good player, Davey, that Fife have brought in at this stage, I guess. Given the way that they've played the last couple of weeks, a badly needed player at that.
No mug, really, really high quality hockey player. I remember more for his work at the Nottingham Panthers, perhaps more than so at the Glasgow Clan. Thought when he played for the Panthers, real good puck moving D-man, big body, had a lot of ice time. Was relied on in a lot of situations. So as I say, maybe didn't have such a good time with the Clan, but. It'd be someone there that knows the league. It's always crucial. You're trying to get somebody. They're trying to shake things. Not so much shake things up there. Probably get a little bit of stability rather than shake things up. They've obviously had a real struggle to start the season. I think they've had the emergency Claxon statement out this week as well. Things haven't gone as well for them. I think Max McBrayer. Signed the Claxon earlier in the week to say, things obviously haven't gone as well as we hoped to do, but we are a new club, effectively, new ownership there, and things will need time to sell. We mightn't have got things right in our recruitment, but we're trying to fix that. So bringing the prey in, it's a big statement of intent as well. So hopefully he'll come in and help settle things down for them there.
And one of the other rivals came this week. Stevie is at the Cardiff Devils. Brett Ferguson obviously had spent many years with the Guildford Flames, coming in, bit of an injury cover, and I think who's out with injury. But they've brought Brett Ferguson in, who'd been playing a couple of games in the in Saskatchewan with regards to the C League in Saskatchewan. But he's been back in, and do you know what? When I heard that signing, I thought to myself, that is very much a Paul Thompson physical sign. And that's a Paul Thompson sort of looking at what he's got and wanting maybe a little bit more sandpaper.
Yeah, well, I mean, Paul Thompson knows his stuff, and he knows how to put a winning team out onto the ice. So he's done that in multiple countries. Ferguson, I mean, again, kind of like the Dupre signing and Fife, getting players who know the league and know how to play and know what to expect. I think sometimes if you want to get somewhere, you want people who know the map. And I think, as you say, David, Fife, looking at somebody who can help settle things down, knows the league very well. Same thing for Cardiff, getting Ferguson, knows the league well, kind of a physical player. He'll play a style Paul Thompson will want. So, yeah, fair play. Helps them out if they've got a bit of injury. And as we've seen, you need a big roster in the league these days.
I'm actually going to throw that one back up to you, Davey, because obviously we had that they had that 4-0 in Sheffield. You said yeah, but a player like Ferguson, again, you said it yourself, knows the league, knows what he's coming into, but also is a disruptor.
Yeah, listen, well known to have the odd head loss, especially late in a game where maybe the points were gone. But I think Cardiff lost. What do you call it, guy? Who's going out the injury there? He'd be maybe third or fourth liner. Oh, his name's escaped me. Begins with Y.
Yes, it's as I said, wasn't I was saying Yarmolenko.
Yeah, so obviously he's out, so they're having to replace him on the injured reserve as well, and they've obviously Riley Brandt down there. They've a lot of big bodies down there that aren't scared to mix it up when needs be. But that's Devils hockey. You expect that from you expect it from their coach, you expect it from the organisation. So that's no real big shock there. Interesting that Ferguson was available at short notice and decided to make the jump in. He'll definitely fit in well to that current roster.
I was interested. I was going to. I was looking at the some of the players. He actually in that league. He's playing with some ex EIHL players out in Saskatchewan as well. I can't remember. I was going to have a quick look there to see who it was, but I can't remember. But yeah, it's interesting. He's come in. I think they say, is it an injury cover? Is it more long term? I guess we'll see as we go on. Belfast Giants have 2 games this weekend, as we've talked about. Manchester Storm on Friday and Saturday night at 7 p.m. Get yourself down there or watch it with the boys on Giants TV. Any other business, boys? No?
Happy birthday, Blake. I think we said happy birthday to him last week. It was his 18th birthday party. The weekend. I think he's still sleeping that hangover off, but I seen some photographs of him having Kiefer, Goody, Longer, some nice photographs, dressed up in his finery. So happy birthday, my man.
And just one more thing, we mentioned it earlier. It is Cal Baun Day. When the Belfast Giants went in and Cal Baun suitably named the entire arena. He was 4+1 that day, Davey, and it was a hell of a result.
He was indeed. What was the final? 8-1? 8-1, yeah. I think he said two from Jim Vandermeer that night as well. Maybe and his sister, 2 from Vandy as well. It was one of those results that you remember for a long time, and Kyle Baun remembers it well too. So it'll be up on his Facebook feed today, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a very, very entertaining game that, and I think we suited. I think I'm just pulling up the. Have I got it here? Yeah, hold on. I'll pull up the actual stats for it, which were.
I would assume I was at it, but
yes. Let me see. Where is it? There.
A lot of games the sort of merge.
Yeah, that one there. There we go. Vandermeer with the opener. Cal Baun. Bentafoglio pulled one back in the second period. Cal Baun again. Some guy called Riley. Don't know. Never heard of him. Cal Baun again. Jim Vandermeer again. Cal Baun again, and then Darcy Murphy. With
what date was that?
Was going the braid, huh?
What date?
Obviously, it was today. It was the 11th. The 11th of the 11th.
Year?
Oh, what year is? No, it was 7 years ago. 2018. 2018. 7 years ago.
There you go.
Fantastic. That was. Listen, let's wrap this show up, boys. Big thanks to Jordan Kawaguchi and, of course, to Dallas Erhardt for coming and joining us on this show and persevering in what's been a relatively chaotic show tonight, boys. Big thanks to you, Davey, and you, Stevie, for coming in and joining us on this. Always appreciated. Belfast Giants with 2 games this weekend, as we said. Storm are here for the double header. It's 7 p.m. on Friday and 7 p.m. on Saturday. Get yourself down to the SSE Arena first and foremost. But if you can't, of course, Stevie, will we hear your voice this weekend?
Not sure yet. I think it's Marty and Michael on Friday and TBC for Saturday.
Well, hopefully, we might hear from you on Saturday then, but you'll get that from the boys who do a great job on Giants TV. You get us at AVFTB on Twitter. You can get us on Facebook, Instagram, all the good podcast providers, and kingdomofthegiants.com. Thanks, boys.
Cheers.
And wherever you are this weekend, we hope you enjoy your hockey. We'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge.